Hi, I'm Pete.
And I'm Kaz, and together we're Crafty Caravanners.
We recently went on our first caravanning trip of 2021 to South Wales, which is behind us. Ooh, it's a bit blacker than ideal.
Good morning, and it's Sunday and we're in Wales, and Sunday is definitely a kind of day it's been for the last 3 days. Sun, sun, sun. We're going to take a walk and explore some of the local footpaths across some of the fields here, so we're going to bring you along, but just for now have a look at this stunning little view.
Cledd-y-Tan has a wonderful view over Wales and England and is situated on top of a ridge. A road runs parallel to the caravan site, and we hope to head down to a footpath, and we're planning to have a good look at the views of the Severn estuary, including the 2 bridges that run across that piece of water. And there's a view looking back at Cledd-y-Tan from the road. A horse-related field is visible, and the grey-coloured area is a bit of a horse training facility. And here we are at the stile that's leading towards the public footpath.
Over there is where we came into the field. The horses are rather interested in the dogs, got to be really careful of that.
So it would seem that either this is no longer a public footpath because the gate is all tied up, and what I think would have been a stile is all roped off, or the farmer doesn't want people trudging through his land. Either way, our morning walk is now scuppered, which is a shame.
We tried again. This footpath was also blocked. Church of the Holy Cross. The Church of the Holy Cross is a Grade 2 listed building. This listing states that the building is an attractive and little altered church from a now deserted village. The church is constructed of old red sandstone and possesses a simple interior. The church has been described as the remotest church in the whole of Wales. The present church has been dated to early medieval times, the 13th century, although the site itself is thought to be much older. A legend has it that the location for the church was chosen when 2 yoked heifers lay down for a rest. I wonder if this legend goes back as far as pre-Christian times. Several restoration projects have occurred throughout the ages, with the most recent restoration work occurring between 1989 and 1990.
I'm sitting outside with the dogs in the churchyard. Kaz has gone to have a look inside the church. Now this church, it looks like it's still got not even slate tiles on the roof. It looks like these are pieces of stone. So I'm just going to turn the camera around, and there is the church. And there's Milo being a good boy, and Dottie being a good girl. It is quite the idyllic and peaceful valley down here. The only reminders of modern civilization are the one or two odd airliners which are still flying these days. In the woods in the distance, we can just about make out what I believe to be the viewpoint, which I'll indicate on a map. So if you're just passing by on some odd and weird chance, you can stop there with some sandwiches, have some lunch and enjoy the view. Dog-proof, Milo, you can't go over there. Not really done one of these before, but here's the gravestone of an R. Morgan, who was an able seaman in the Royal Navy, with a military identification number of J/49935, who died on the HMS Garland on the 11th of November 1918, aged 26.
Able seaman Richard Morgan, who was aged 26 years on the day of his death, the 11th of November 1918, was one of the very last men to die in World War I, and his death occurred on the last day of that war. Richard Morgan was born and grew up in the tiny village of Kilgwrrwg, and it is in this village that the Church of the Holy Cross is located. More than 100 years after his death, there are still no roads leading to this church. It is accessible only from footpaths. Able seaman Richard Morgan had enlisted for the war effort at age 23 and ended up serving in the Royal Naval Volunteer Reserves. It is falsely but commonly reported that able seaman Richard Morgan was the very last person to die in World War I. On the 11th of November 1918, another 860 British and Empire servicemen met their deaths, and fighting was to continue in Russia for several more months. On the day of his death, he was stationed on the HMS Garland that was docked at Plymouth Command in Devonport, and was travelling on a smaller boat that capsized, and he was accidentally drowned. The stained glass window of the church reads, "In proud and loving memory of Joseph Alson Jones Bevan, Frederick James Bevan, and Richard Morgan of this parish, who sacrificed their all for God, King and country in the Great War." The Bevans and the Morgans were neighbours in the village.
Oh yeah, that hill is a bit steeper than it looked. A little bit out of breath. But the exercise is all good. It looks like the next bit might even be a little bit steeper. Follow the little blue arrows. That's another one of those blue dots. Here is one of those unbelievably steep and narrow roads. I was foolish enough to drag a caravan up a road like this, not too far away from here, but fortunately I'm not doing that today. It's Shanks's pony. So happy to see the van today. We'll let the engine do the work from here on. And for today's experiment, I'm going to be trying putting this pizza onto this snack-sized caddock. So I've been heating up the stone for about 10 minutes. These are the miniature pizzas you get from Asda. All right, let's have a look. Ooh, it's a bit blacker than ideal, that's for sure. There we go. Too many pizzas. Slightly black underneath. Is it delicious?
Yeah.
Just needs more cider to wash down the taste.
You pass me a knife, please.
Okay. Down there is the church we walked to earlier. A little quick pan around to the right. We're not going to do a full review today. Really, yeah, the facilities are basic and minimalistic.
There's a tap for fresh water. There is the black water and grey water disposal point. And there are the recycling bins. That's pretty much all there is to it. Time for a beer. And thanks for watching this video.